Welcome to the GameChangerZ Network. I am Fabrice Flangi. This is
Daniel Montoya.
In the Flesh. We are the GameChangerZ Network. And remember, you too can become a game changer by listening to some of our advice and become the best version of yourself.
Yes. And if you like what you see, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and leave down in the comments if this is something that has helped you out. Or if you want to try to get on this show, shoot us a direct message or leave your name in the comments so we can try to get you booked in.
Yep, or email us at support@GameChangerZNetwork.com. And of course, if you would like to donate, you don't have to if you don't want to, but we'd appreciate it if you do because we got to keep the lights on, baby. Go ahead and head over to GameChangerZNetwork.com. That's Game Changers with a Z, network.com. And donation link is going to be at the bottom. So let's get right into the episode of today. Today is Friday. What's up, baby?
What's up, big
How you
dog?
doing, big dog? First off, sip this tea.
Yes,
My mouth is dry.
I got a dry mouth until I
Pause.
drink this wedding cake here.
Yes. And to cure your dry mouth, you need H2O, which is our sponsor for this episode. H2O is the place to go. Premium water and ice, born in Texas for 2009. They are the optimum joint to go. I got mango fresco.
And I got the wedding cake, and they got happy hour from 2 to 4 o'clock every single day at every single location. So if you haven't went out there and got it yet, go get you some.
Yeah, by the time you're listening to it, it's probably 5 p.m. That means you're late. So make sure you go from 2 to 4.
Tomorrow.
So speaking of places to go, yesterday I went home and I contemplated on my life. I did.
Whoa, we getting deep.
Yeah, I contemplated on my life.
As soon as we get into this.
Yeah, but that's he here. I contemplate. See how I sat back? Now just lean back in my chair.
Just get into it. Yeah.
I've gotten so far, yo. However, I'm still like so young. And like when I say I've gotten so far, your brain is like, shut up. You don't know nothing.
No.
Nothing at all.
Everywhere, every person in their life, in their story in life, it gets moments like that. So even me at this age, I still get that way too. So.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think about?
Of what you're saying, like contemplating on life?
Yeah, just like where you're at.
Some days when I get home and my kids are driving me nuts, bro, I just like sit there and Kelsey catches me sometimes. She's just like, what are you looking at? And I'm just like looking at the wall. And I'm just like, just thinking, babe, just let me think. And bro, just like, just contemplating this life.
Because as providers, we had to think things through. We just got to. That's what we do. Isn't that crazy, yo? Like we should think about. So I'm looking at Nate Dogg over here. We gotta think about like life and what's coming up. Like, well, I'm 23. We don't gotta think about it. He said we don't gotta think about it.
Just going on with a win.
Yeah, he's going on with a win. Bro, I used to do that though. It's not worth it. You gotta plan it out. You really gotta plan it out. So here's some advice. I did picture myself here on some sort of show, but basically in front of a mic. As a matter of fact, I used to do podcasting back in 2018. I was just like, I just got out of peak depression. Okay. I'll tell you what happened that summer. Okay. You listening? Pay attention.
Sorry, bro.
You good, bro.
I'm putting it up. It's gone.
It's gone.
Phone's gone.
Pay attention. 2018. I don't ever talk about this. I don't think anybody knows. So I'll just air it out anyway. Sometimes you gotta be vulnerable to grow.
Yeah.
2018. I went through that summer time frame where I was doing really bad in school. So 2018, I was in mechanical. My third year, I was getting some of the worst grades ever. And mind you, I wasn't like doing anything bad. Like I was actually doing, studying and stuff like that. But engineering at Texas Tech at the time, they only teach one way. And the way they were teaching, a lot of the kids weren't getting. So the pass, you really had to cheat. Well, I know dogs that got the degrees right now that cheated their way through. And I'm just like, bruh, I should have cheated with you. Yeah. So I'm kind of upset about that. But however, because of that though, that summer I went through this depressive phase. I was like, am I really that dumb? Like my dad tells me to be the best every day, but I'm an idiot. What's going on? I literally would have canes every night. I'd wake up. This is the World Cup. Whatever year that was, the World Cup. I think it was 2018. Or was it 2016? 2018, I think. 2019. Yeah. But this is when, like, if you guys know, Marco Reus scored that crazy game-winning, like, free kick at the very end there. Or was it Muller? I don't remember, but that's what it was. And like every night, I would go out to either King's, Papa John's, McDonald's, Whataburger, and I would have that every night. Like order like 2 burgers, 2 sets of fries, and just down myself in food On top of that, like pizza, like I was just going crazy, right? I went through this ultra depressive phase, and like I was struggling with a lot of like demons, pretty much.
Yeah.
And then I got out. It was like June, and then all the way up to mid-July.
Yeah.
Okay. I finally mustered up the courage to relieve myself from my struggles. At the time, it was pornography. That's what it was. Pornography and loneliness, because I was alone 24/7.
Yeah.
There were days, 2 days stretches where I was like, okay, I'm not seeing a single human soul. Once I got that sorted, I started a podcast called The Fabricated Podcast, which is probably one of the greatest things I ever started. Never picked up, never went anywhere, but it was very insightful. Once that started, I literally like, how do I say it? I started opening up more about myself, discovering who I was. I had my second guest on there. His name is Seferino Lujan. He was a model from out of New York. And he lived with us. And then I had like a bunch of anime episodes. My buddies were on there. It was so sick. Needless to say, the reason I'm going on Bambrin is because this life advice is like, once you get from out of that rut, there is a light outside the tunnel, but you can't get out of that light until you plan like how to get out. So don't just wing life ever. Like, plan your steps. So when I started that podcast, I remember the mic I was addicted to at the time, or wanted really bad, was this one. It was this very mic that I'm speaking to right now, the Shure SM7Bs. Those are the mics that I wanted back then. The cameras that I wanted back then, I mean, I think it was 6400. Now I have it. Now the A7S3, which I have now, thanks to you. And like, I didn't have a plan, but I had a vision. So for those of y'all listening, like, part of my language, but dead ass, plan your life step by step. I wish I did it step by step. Because I just planned it like, oh, it's going to happen. But step by step and thoroughly.
So I'm glad that you brought that up. So like depression, this is a kind of ongoing topic of whether that's a actual disease,
right,
or a mental state,
right.
So what do you believe, or what do you think that depression is?
So now that I'm older, I remember that was my mental state then. Now, depression, anxiety, and especially anxiety. Me being African, I don't believe that stuff to be diseases. It can be diseases in some cases.
Right.
However, in this new generation, especially Gen Z, they drag it out. Oh my goodness!
Because they want to get medicated,
right,
or whatever,
the case is, or I can't do this task. My anxiety is going to thrive up. Or I don't want to go out there, man. Like, that's not an excuse or a reason, or it's not a disease that you have. It's just you're not mentally strong enough, or don't have the mental fortitude to do that task comfortably.
Right.
That's what it is.
Yes.
That's exactly what it is.
And this is kind of my take on it, because I've lived through that, like depression, right? There was a point in time in life where I was what you would call depressed, but it wasn't really depression, right? What I consider depression is like just sad, and like the world's basically falling all the time. But it's also where I was at life.
That's interesting you say that.
Yes.
Depression to me is like, I don't want to be here.
Yes, like
But
everything is just
right.
So for me, when I was going through it, and mine was right after college. Right after college, I got back home, and like it's so crazy when you don't have a plan,
right,
that your mind just goes off to wherever.
Ever.
And if you have no goals, I mean, it literally can go on forever, and it's not for us to know what the forever is, right?
True.
We don't know, and we shouldn't know, and we're not going to know. So just get over the fact that you're not going to know where you're supposed to do. Well, the best thing you can do.
Right. Well, people at your age, even a 40-year-old, they still don't know what to do with life sometimes.
Yeah.
They have no idea.
A lot of people, actually.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Yeah, a lot of people.
But that's not a depressive state.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, where's that fine line there? Like, where is this fine line between sad and depression?
So that's what I'm trying to say. So whenever I actually got into a goal, a mindset to where I was like, I'm going to go this direction now.
Yeah.
This depression stuff, the world's falling, this victimized state of mind that I'm in right now, because I really thought for a time frame in my life that my stepdad hated me. Like, there was a time where I believed that. I truly believed that he did not like me. For whatever reason, I tell my mom too, like, why does he not like me? What am I doing wrong that he does not like me? She's like, it's not that he doesn't like you, he's pushing you.
True.
But in my brain,
He
in
hates
my
you.
20-year-old brain,
Yeah.
he hates me.
Yeah, I went through
this
that.
man is not doing, you know what I mean? Like, and that's my father figure. That's a man figure in my life. Why does he hate me? And I was victimizing myself, but I was 20.
Right.
And once that mindset changed, and I'm like, okay, this man does love me. So what are you trying to do?
Yeah.
Like,
what's your purpose?
What's your purpose? Why are you doing this to me?
Yeah.
And then, it takes years past that, but he was doing it to make me the man I am today. He was pushing me, and he was doing the things. He was telling me the things. He was making me wake up early. Like, he was doing these things for a purpose and for a reason.
Right. Out of love.
Out of love.
Yeah.
And because he knew that if he pushed me and I was able to do that, that I would be the man that I am.
You said when you were 20, you went through that?
About 2021.
So mine was 2021 as well.
Yeah.
I didn't understand. I was like, why is this guy so mean to me? He's never home.
Yeah.
And when he comes home, he just hates me. Why? But it's out of love. So like now that we're older, we understand it's out of sacrifice. Because you got to do the same thing to your children.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
But see, that's what I'm saying. But at that point in time, I was depressed because I was thinking that he hated me, or I thought that he was doing the stuff not out of love, but out of hate.
But do you want to term that depression or sadness?
I would say depression, because I was real depressed that he was doing that.
Right.
And I didn't, at that time frame in my life, I did not know. And when I would say now, knowing what depression is, or knowing what they classify depression as today in today's standards, I was depressed almost a full 20 and 21-year-old young boy.
Yeah.
Like, that was a full 2 years of me just being
with the new definition.
Right. But that definition back then, I was just, I was
just sad or throwing a fit, right?
Yeah, I was just being a little.
Right. Nice. Nice. So here's my thing. What happened? Everything's good? I guess we're good. I don't know. We got to check in with Nate. But here's my thing. The definition of depression, right, changes over time. I'm still in the older days mentally because I'm from Cameroon, right? We don't have these new American rules or social media like that everywhere to where we can always change definitions of things. Like, remember when stay woke used to be cool? Now being wokeness is something that's degraded upon. I don't know if you know that.
I know.
Yeah, isn't that crazy?
It's crazy.
So same thing with depression. Like, depression used to be, okay, this person always, like, so if that's your definition of depression, what do you describe people who like cut themselves all the time, or like,
depression.
Right.
It's the same thing.
But if that's the definition of depression there, right? What about those who are just like, life isn't going right, I'm depressed?
Yeah, exactly.
Is that still the depression too?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't know where depression.
Yeah. Where's the fine line? I'm no psychologist, but where's the fine line?
Yeah, I have no idea, but I do know from my life, my soul life, that when I was in that state and when I got out of that state, and that was planning, making goals, of course, making money, basically living for the greater good. I started going to church around that time frame. Yeah. There was actually a purpose for my life. And that's what people need to understand, is that if you don't have a purpose in life, like if you're just living to live and there's no purpose, you probably will be depressed, because there's like literally, what are you living for? Right.
I say this is this, right? There are people who are just alive, and there are people who are living. You have to strive to be living, rather than just being alive.
Yeah. But that was my purpose. My purpose and goal was to, at 21 years old, after I got over my pity party, I started, we started going to church, and not saying that's going to be everyone's go-to, but that was my go-to, was to go into church and get my faith right. That's where it started. That's what led me out of depression, getting my faith right. So I got my faith right first, and of course met my lovely wife. And you would think, as a man or as a boy, a 21-year-old boy, you would think getting with women or getting a companion would get you out of that depressed state. The more women I was getting with, the more depressed I was.
You were getting it, right?
And it was not satisfying the need I want. The more alcohol I drank, I was thinking that it was going to be a substitute, or it was going to make my purpose. So I was like the party animal. If you know me back in 2009, 2010, you know what I was doing in 2009, 2010. Like I was partying every day. After I got off of work, we'd be playing beer pong, we'd be listening to country music, and we'd be drinking beer. Like that was every day, Monday through Sunday. That this wasn't just a once a week. Like this was a daily thing. And I was thinking that my purpose was like, well, I'm just going to be the party guy. Like that's going to be my goal. Is I'm the party guy. I'm the guy getting with all these chicks, and like that was at that point was my purpose.
Right.
But that was the most depressing time in my life.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'll speak on that because I picked it up very quickly. Like I said, I'm still 23. I just went through all that stuff. So I do feel like for those of y'all 20-year-olds or 17-year-olds or whoever year olds, like if you're younger than 20, listen up. Or if you're even younger than 25, listen up. The second you turn 20 is your time to discover who you are. It's your time to discover what you like, of course, right? However, it's your time to be the most disciplined, the most risky, like take the most amount of risks. And it is also the time for you to explore new things that you like, new adventures. So I actually now know that I like golf. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have known that till I'm 30 or 40. I actually know that I hate alcohol. I hate the effects alcohol has on me. As a matter of fact, when I drink, there are moments where I get my heart rate increases. There aren't panic attacks. I don't have panic attacks or anxiety attacks. Yeah. My heart rate actually like doubles, and it's unhealthy. I've never done drugs in my life, so I don't know what that feels like. I will probably try on like in the future, but I also take a lot of risks. I stopped. I'm 2 days clean, but I would drive like 120 on the highway. That's risk. It's very risky. I'm risking my life. Yeah. But like, you know, stuff like that. Like I take a lot of risk in business decisions. I take a lot of risks in you know, new opportunities, meeting new people and stuff like that. It's very important. However, I'm also one of the most disciplined. As a matter of fact, the only thing that's not disciplined about me right now is how I manage my time and how much I sleep. Sometimes I will let it overslide. Like this morning, I will let it overslide, and I will be like, okay, I need to get more, whatever. However, I eat right. I count my macros all the way down to my fats, carbs, proteins, and calories, and vitamins as well. I am very rigid in that regard. And that's what your 20s should be. You should actually be more carefree when you're 30. When your kids are like 15,
30
18.
is the new 20, bro.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
It really is. And that's what I recommend for the young ones. Because the young ones are like, okay, I'm in college now. Whatever. Yeah. Heck no. You want to be like whatever when you're 30 and the people that are your friends that you were with, they're still working 9 to 5. You want to be like whatever because you already built everything when you were 20.
Yep. So my thing is, my advice to the Gen Zs or the upcoming, you know, the new generation, new gen. That's what we're gonna call you, the new gens. Okay. I got 3 Ds. Okay. I got dedication, determination, and discipline. Discipline. That's it. Live your 20s with those 3 things, and you're gonna succeed when you get in 30s.
Bro, no matter what. By 25 even, because it's a lot easier to succeed nowadays too.
And actually, the dude that's cutting my hair right now,
young
shout out Kid Cut It. He's a young cat, bro. He's 20 years old. Shout out to you. Hope you watch this episode. We'll put a link on his stuff.
Yeah, Kid Cut It.
Kid Cut It, bro. He is 20 years old. This man has made his first 6-figure year.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Shout out to Kid Cut It.
Shout out to Kid Cut It, bro. Like, you're 20 years old. He hadn't even lived like life yet. Like he's getting into it, right? He's getting into this thing, and that man's already made 6 figures cutting hair. That's what he does. He cuts hair. And every time that he cuts my hair, he's always asking for advice and stuff, and I'm always giving this man advice.
That's dope.
But he's 20. He's a 20-year-old barber.
How much does he charge?
He charges about close to $50.
Good.
Yeah, 50 or $60.
That's where it's supposed to be.
Yeah. So like this man, I'm telling you, like he's definitely going to be a game changer in life. And like his friends, and he tells me this all the time, like his friends go in there and they talking about smoking weed and they're talking about this and that. He's like, bro, I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to get investments. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to flip properties. I'm 20. 20. I know 35-year-old men that are my age that don't even talk like that.
Heck
bro.
yeah. Heck
35, yeah. Bro. I know 35-year-old men that do not talk like that.
Isn't that crazy?
That's nuts.
And that happens like either post high school or last year of high school or last year of college, right? Like I have friends who literally went through that college party lifestyle. Once that mentality was in their head, it never left. Yeah. And they're still like that till in their 30s and 40s.
Yes, and that's a really sad part about like our society is that
tragic.
Even within my family, it's that way. I have close to almost 40-year-old, family members that are like that. I even have family members above that are in their 55s and 60s, bro, that are still in party mode.
You're trying to help them.
I'm trying, bro, and it's one thing that I can, what comes out of your mouth, You're either speaking life or you're speaking death. That's it. There's only two things that come out of your mouth. So whenever I speak to my family, bro, I make sure that I speak life. There's nothing that comes out of my mouth that's death. I have sarcasm and I joke around every once in a while, but the majority of what I speak into my family is life.
Right.
When I speak to my nephews, when I speak to my kids, when I speak to my mother, when I speak to my father, brothers, sisters, whoever. Life, bro. I speak life as much as I can possibly speak life, and especially with my family. So for them, I mean, you would think that someone, of our stature, everyone would just be good, but the world just doesn't work that way, man.
Sure don't. It sure don't. Yeah.
Wish it did. I wish it did, but it just does not.
That's why we're trying to tell y'all to become the game changers in your life, because this knowledge is free. It is.
It's on YouTube. Y'all can go watch it anytime y'all want.
This knowledge is free. Dopamine. Most of it comes from dopamine. So
it's a chemical that gets trtriggered.
For those of y'all who don't know, he asked what dopamine is. So dopamine. Sorry, go ahead. You said it's a chemical.
No, yeah, it's basically a chemical that makes you happy. It makes you feel.
Congrats! I did something.
Yeah, I did something. You feel good. You feel good. So that's why people, the new generation Gen Zs. That's why y'all are I will say addicted. Why y'all are so addicted to TikTok and Instagram and Facebook, or any of the social media platforms. Because whenever you get a like, or whenever someone hearts your thing, or whenever you get views, dopamine kicks in. It's it's instant gratification.
Well, look how fast it hits now too. So I don't know if you know this, but most of the big companies act on your dopamine receptors.
They do,
right? So for example, McDonald's fries. McDonald's fries are engineered to when you have McDonald's fries with Sprite, it hits better. There's like a salt they put in it that hits your receptors better. This when the second your phone goes ping, your brain's like, oh, let me see what it is. And your dopamine kicks off. It even goes deeper than that. Because dopamine satisfaction is so quick, it happens so fast, we negate the ones that take a long time. That's why grinding and hustle culture is so praised so much, because the dopamine for that is everlasting, but you don't get it in the span of 10 seconds. You probably get it in the span of years. Very much years. That's why many people are more successful and stuff like that. So dopamine is one of those things that I always like to talk about, because it's very much a killer in society.
Yeah.
That's what causes all addiction. Hey, life is all about addiction. You just got to pick your dose.
Yeah, it really is. And that's cool that you say that. So the addiction part with me, and Nate asked me to do this, so I'm going to do this for you guys. I used to weigh 280 pounds in 2020. Right now I'm sitting at a 225. Still not in the best shape of my life, but I'm getting there. But 280, I was obese. I was pre-diabetic, I was borderline diabetic, and doctor told me that too. And at that point, I'm like, yeah, it is what it is. But dopamine for me at that point in time, which this is only 2 years back. So, I mean, this is very, very fresh.
Recent.
Dopamine was food. Like whenever a new flavor, like when Whataburger came out with the Dr. Pepper shake, bro.
Heck yeah.
I was like,
I gotta go get
dopamine,
that.
bro. Like I live in Andrews. Midland is 40 miles from here.
Yeah.
I would drive to Whataburger just to get that shake.
That's
dopamine, bro.
Dopamine.
If you want to know what dopamine addiction, that's exactly what it is. And just for that the first drink, that's all that's good, and then the rest of it
done.
Yeah, but I would drive 40 miles just to go get that.
Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy, bro. And that's when I was a big old.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. So I naturally have stretch marks because of my height. I grew so fast. My junior year to senior year, I grew like a whole foot, which is nuts. Yeah, a whole foot, bro.
You said a foot.
A foot.
I haven't grown since the 7th grade.
Yeah,
so.
that's depression. Now that's depression.
That's depression.
I grew a whole foot, but because of that summer, the depression in that summer, I acquired stretch marks in my stomach area, which is now fading away, thank God. But because of the dopamine of that, those are the results of that. The dopamines you want, and I'm blessed to have experienced them, is when those moments when time seems to slow down. Most of the time I'm driving when this happens to me, it slows down and something happens that was initially initiated from an action I did a year prior. And I'm like, oh, this is the fruit of that seed. The dopamine is like an hour long. Like it's greater than an orgasm. It's way greater than an orgasm. Like it's just, it feels great. But it comes from, it was a years of work, and it lasted more than just like, a couple of seconds.
Right. So that's dopamine. So on the fitness thing, I'll go back into this because I think that fitness, this is my 100% honest opinion on entrepreneurship and life itself. But I believe that fitness is above all in every aspect.
I agree.
Because if you don't have the fitness, you don't have the confidence. If you're not looking your best, you're not going to have the confidence. If you're not, the healthiest you're not confident for your family. For men and women, if you're not in your best shape, you're not confident to your husband. As a husband, you're not confident to your wife.
Right.
I think fitness is above all. So I really hit hard on fitness in 2020 whenever I got into real estate and all this stuff. I really, really pushed it. And just for those of you out there that are watching this and that think that you have to go to the gym and you have to push all these weights and you got to do all this craziness and you got to do pull up and blah, blah, blah. Like my first month in fitness, I would walk, not run, walk a mile a day. 7 days a week, I would walk a mile. That's it. I didn't do anything crazier than that. That's all I would do. And we have a little duck pond around here, so I'd walk 2 laps, and that's 1 mile. So I would walk 2 laps a day. And for those of you, because I'm in the same boat saying that you don't have time, it took me 15 minutes. No, it took me 17 minutes to walk that mile. So you do have 17 minutes in a day to at least do that.
So that's what I do.
Yeah.
I have to now.
And that's like a non-negotiable for me now is like I have to get a mile a day. No matter what. So with fitness, I'm just telling you I would get your fitness right. If you're trying to get in entrepreneurship, you're trying to do something for yourself, you're trying to get out of depression, you're trying to get out of anxiety, you're trying to get out of these things.
I got you.
Yes.
We'll tell you about the 5 pillars. So if you're trying to do all of that, entrepreneurship, business, yourself, focus on these 5 pillars. You know about the 5 pillars? You probably did. I was told about these twice. The first time I ignored it. The second time it actually hit me, and I focused on them, and it worked. Family, faith, finances, fun. What's the last one? How am I forgetting the last one?
Family, faith, finances, fitness.
Fitness and fun. There you go. All those 5 pillars help. When one pillar goes down, the others tend to fall. Usually, it's hard to keep all the pillars at 10, and that's the beauty about life. You have enough time to work on all 5, but if you waste your time, one of those will fall. One of those will fall. And so my biggest pillar that I always seem to work on is actually fun, because I suck at making fun time or me time.
Yeah. So we're definitely going this July, by the way. We're going this July. We're going to go to Port Aransas, Texas.
Okay.
We're going to go deep sea fishing.
I'm with it.
It's going to be a boys trip. We're going to take the cameras. We're going to record it.
We're record it.
It's on this
We'll
podcast.
vlog.
We're going to vlog it. It's going to be amazing.
It'll be hilarious.
Fabrice has never went deep sea fishing.
Nope.
I try to go. I made it a tradition with my family going every year until I started popping out like babies after babies.
They're going to have my little
melanin
skin
now
in the sea.
now that everything's done and I'm good to go, we're definitely going back this year. So we're going to have some fun. Deep sea fishing, I'm telling you, there's something, if you've never been deep sea fishing, you need to go because it shows you just how big you are compared to this world.
What's today? Friday, May 11th. So if I disappear, you guys know I went deep sea fishing with
July.
these Goonies.
It's going to be around July 15th.
It's going to be around July.
July 15th is my birthday.
Woo!
Yeah.
I'm 16 days younger than you.
Younger?
Yeah.
16 days and some years.
And
it is what it is. We're not going to talk about that. But anyway, so seriously, like deep sea fishing for me is, it's so eye-opening because we don't go that far. I think we go like 80 miles off the coast, the Gulf Coast.
That's far, yo.
You would think it is, right?
Yeah.
It's really not that far if you think about it.
How big is this boat?
Like
this room?
It's about a 42-foot boat.
42 feet boat? So
it's a charter.
So double this room.
Yeah, roughly.
No, there's enough space for all of us then. How wide is it?
Not that wide.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Kind of like a speedboat.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay. What about?
but when you get out in the ocean, bro, there's just something. For me, it hits different because whenever you think you're the man, and you go out in the ocean, middle of the ocean, where you can't see anybody, you can't see land, all you see is ocean. It really shows you how glorious that is, because you're out there. It's the most beautiful blue. Like if you've been in the ocean, the bay, it's like this ugly brown bluish, greenish, right?
Yeah.
But when you get deep in the ocean, it's like the most beautiful blue that you've ever seen in your life. And then it's just you. There's no phone service. So literally you cannot answer your phone. You can't do anything with your phone. It's just you and the boys, and y'all are just catching some fish. It just hits different.
No, I love fishing. I've been fishing. I know how to, reel and all that, throw the thing over the board or whatever. But yeah, the deep sea, I don't know. Now, like you said, now that I'm picturing it, I don't know. I might get nauseous, yo. I might get nauseous, yo. I don't know.
Dramamine.
Sheesh.
Yeah.
All right.
But it's gonna be fun. That's a me time. That's a me time conversation.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
But the workout stuff, again, I want to shout out to a coach, a mentor that mentored me into getting into the best shape of my life. He's a life coach and a fitness coach. His name's Taj Howell. You can find him on Instagram. You can find him on Facebook. You can find him on TikToks, I believe. But he is a life coach. He's a real deal. He's not a spam. Reach out to that man. I mean, he literally changed my life. Like if it wasn't for him, because I've done so many diet programs and these little dumb things and all this crap, and this was the first guy that I've actually gone with that I wanted to continue and pursue. Like I wanted to be a better me, and it wasn't just a fitness coach; it was a literal life coach. Like he has which I'm going to spill the beans. Sorry, Taj, but he has this thing called the Life Blueprint, and it's something that he made us go over every morning, and it's self-affirmations. Do you do self-affirmation?
Yeah, of course, always.
So like telling yourself that you are amazing, you
great.
Are going to make money, you are going to own this, you are going to be an amazing father. Like just giving yourself self-affirmations.
So important,
right? And this blueprint basically told you what your life is today, what your life's going to be in 5 years, and what your life's going to be in 10 years, right? And or what it's going to be at today, the end of this year, in 5 years, and then in 10 years. So for me, when I first started in 2020, I was like, I want to be the best version of myself, whatever that is. I don't know what that's going to be. And that was the year that I got out of oil field into the real estate stuff. I was like, I don't care if I succeed in real estate. Like I truly don't. I just want to be the best version of me. Okay. Whatever that means, whatever that looks like, I just want to be that best version of me. Because I have yet to, in my adulthood, I have yet to see that guy.
Right.
Because I've always been a big boy. Like I've not took care of myself, health-wise. And I really took to it, bro. And
boom.
Here we are.
Here we are. Even better every day.
Yes, sir.
Oh, man. Life is insane.
Life is insane.
Life is nuts, dude. I'll tell you who I'll give a shout out to.
Who are you giving a shout out?
All right. So that depression I was talking about earlier, that was 2018. 2019, I moved in with my bros. Because I was like, no more living by myself.
Yeah.
Especially in the summer. Moved in with my boys, my buddy Duran Tucson. That's my dog for day one. Shout out to boy D. And my boy Robbie Barton. We call him Robbie on Robert because he's like white dude from Seattle, cool.
Oh yeah.
But he made the best chicken. I know it sounds wild, boy. That's all he got us too. He was like, "It's a cool story, dude." So Robbie, we had a soccer class together.
Yeah.
And in this class, we played soccer together, obviously, just like with the rest of the group. He's like, "Dude, you're so cool, bro. Like, where are you from?" "I'm from Cameroon, bro." He's like, "Dude, you got to come over. I'm making some chicken, bro. You got to come have it." I'm like, "That's how they get you, boy. That's how they get you."
That's where it starts.
But I just let it happen. I was like, you know what, whatever. He probably does. He means well.
Yeah.
Well, I went over there. He got like a nice little, he lived in the Republic. If you guys are from Lubbock, Texas, at Tech, y'all know the Republic. He was at the very front, like as soon as you're driving through the gate, it's like the very first set of houses on the left. And he would grill them. He'd grill the chicken in the back with his sister. And like, bro, some of the best chicken I've ever had. Like, bro, you take it looks like dry. You take a bite, bro, all the juice just right down there. Woo-wee. Now, that's how he got us.
Yeah.
He did the same thing to my boy Durant.
Oh,
and Durant's
yeah.
the same. Durant not from Cameroon, like cool as hell. Durant too. That's how I built my boy Durant. Me and Durant lifetime. Me and Robbie still cool like to this day. We play Rocket League and stuff. So yeah, that's how he got us. But I moved in with them to the Scarlet. It used to be called the Fountains Intake, but now it's called the Scarlet. And like we were living, but COVID happened the following year, and they both moved back. Durant went back to Houston. Rob went back to Seattle. I was there by myself, but I didn't want to go home. I had internet, I had Call of Duty, and I had my built PC. I didn't need nothing else. That's all I needed. So I decided, and I went through a breakup. She ghosted me, yo. She ghosted me. Say what's up.
Oh my goodness.
Get some respect on my name.
Here we go.
How you gonna respect?
She's gonna watch this and she's gonna be hitting.
She ain't gonna watch this? She might if it goes viral. She probably will.
She gonna hit it up. We gotta know.
I ain't tripping. Huh?
You gotta know.
No, I ain't saying that. You know what? You know what we call her within the boys?
What?
In French, on dit la championne. La championne. Champion.
Yeah.
She's the champion because she won. She won over me. So that's why we call her the champion. Then we don't have to say her name. But
we know who you are, champion.
Yeah, she ghosted me. And like, it sent me into turmoil. So I went to that summer. I decided to change my body up. I decided to keep doing the podcast. I started starting my business, that photography thing. Yep. So all this really like stuff. But she don't get the credit. Forget you.
Credit. Champion.
So
you don't get no credit, champion.
I would eat 1 meal a day. Yep. And my dinner would be a mango. And then, yeah, I know. So breakfast would be heavy. I'm talking like 6 eggs, 2 bananas, a full avocado, a steak. That'd be breakfast. So I wake up at 4, go play basketball at the rec from like 4 to 6, and then work out like at 7. I get home, eat the breakfast. I'd pass out from like, I watch anime, so I pass out from like 11 to like 3 or 5, wake up. This is when school was online, so we had to do that. Yeah. So like from 6 to like 11, I would literally play whatever I wanted, whether it was Call of Duty, whether it was Rocket League, Dragon Ball FighterZ, like Modern Warfare 2, Warzone when it first came out. I would play that, and then I'd sleep at like midnight and start the day over and wake up at 40, the same thing. Wow. So that's when that summer I lost 40 pounds. Yeah. I went from 280 to 240.
Nice. But see, that's your that's so crazy. So on discipline, it's so crazy. So no matter how long this lasts, the dedication, discipline, the 3 Ds that I just said.
Dedicated, determination, discipline.
And discipline, those 3 Ds, no matter where you're at in life, 18-year-old, 16-year-old, 15-year-old, 23-year-old, 35-year-old, 40-year-old, doesn't matter. Use those 3 Ds, bro. You succeed in whatever you're trying to do in life.
Oh, yeah.
And it really, like, it just does not, it doesn't go unnoticed because, like, even for me, like, I can tell a disciplined person from a non-disciplined, like the second I meet them. Yeah. The first conversation we have, the very first conversation we have, and I just know. Mm-hmm. And you know when you meet somebody that knows what they're doing.
Got their stuff together.
Yes, they got their stuff together. Mm-hmm. So if you're out there and you're just chilling, you can turn this around today.
Yeah.
Right? If you're just if you feel lazy, if you feel lethargic, if you feel depressed, if you feel anxious, whatever you feel, like all of those feelings, go outside, go get some sun. That sunny D.
The sunny D.
Not the orange juice. The sun.
It's only a flip of the switch.
It really is.
It really is.
Flick it. Boom. And just go walk a mile.
Like look,
it's simple.
I think it's nuts how simple it is. Like, here's how simple it is, okay? I'm going to take my ring off. That was hard. Wrong finger. I'm gonna take it off. Boom. Okay. It's that, like, that's how it is. You should have to like plan stuff out and go that crazy. I know we sound like a broken record, and I know it sounds like that, but it really just is like that.
It is. So. And it's that simple. And so my buddy Ian, the one that was doing the mixtape back there, so I just put him under my wing. I used to do a lot of things. So if y'all don't know, I used to personal train MMA, like coaching MMA. I used to personal train people.
Ran a whole hot shot business.
Man, so many things. I've done so many things. And my buddy Ian, he was weighing almost a month ago. He was at 240, 238. Mm-hmm. And I said, bro, come on. I said, I'm going to put you under my wing. Like, I'm tired of seeing you this way. He's one of my good friends. Mm-hmm. And I said, just listen and do everything that I tell you to do. And let's go from there. And he didn't have a job. He was looking for a job. He's an insurance agent or an insurance adjuster, my bad. And I'm like, bro, fitness first. Let's get your confidence up first, right? So we go to the gym, and I don't train them hard, bro. Like we walk on the treadmill. That's it. That's all we do. And we walk on an incline. If you don't know this, you walk on an incline, makes your heart rate go up. The higher your heart rate is, the more fat you're going to burn.
Yeah, you burn faster.
You burn more fat just walking on an incline
than running.
So we go and we walk on an incline. We do it for 30 minutes a day, and we hit the sauna for 20 minutes. Mm-hmm. That's all we're doing. It's pretty good. Like we're not doing anything crazy. For like his first week, I got that man dropped down. I'm like 12 pounds.
First week?
First week.
Damn.
It was stupid.
What was he eating?
He was eating like crap too. I changed his diet a little bit too because he was eating out every meal of the day. Yeah. Anyway, that's a whole different. The diet thing is different. But like this workout stuff, super easy. And diet stuff too is very simple.
Very simple.
It's just a different topic because everyone has different body. You know, they take stuff in differently. Yeah. But anyway, so we just do that. That's all we do. And then the second week, we actually started doing weights. Now me and him used to be in football together, so I know what he can handle. I know what he can't handle.
He's tough.
He's tough.
Yep.
Yeah. So we start working. Anyway, yesterday he texts me and he sends me a screenshot of his scale. He weighs 215 pounds.
Damn.
215.
Starting from 238?
238.
Damn.
Today or yesterday. He weighed 215.
Impressive.
And I'm not saying that to credit me. I'm not trying to be your fitness coach. I'm not trying to do any of that. But I'm saying this was a month ago. That man was like, he was big. He was depressed. He was like, man, I don't know. I'm not getting jobs. I'm not getting offered. Like he was truly sad, right? Or depressed, whatever word you want to call it. Now that man has got a job. Like he's hitting it. He's hitting the gym every single day. I wish he could be up here, but he's working, 7 to 5. So he can't be up here helping us with
He got
podcasts.
a job now, man.
No, but I mean, check that out.
He got a job.
That's in a month. And that's something that's happening today, right now. That man is changing his life.
People don't realize how fast it can happen for you, yo. How fast it can happen for you, yo. All you gotta do is flip the switch, but
flip it, baby.
Yeah. Enough boring stuff. I guess I was boring. I don't think it was boring. I think it was very insightful. I think you guys should know a lot of this stuff or understand a lot of this stuff because you got to. However, NBA playoff is still rolling.
Yep, they are rolling.
Hold up.
You're trying to wake these people up. Nate, give my theme music.
Give my theme. Honestly,
my stuff right.
I'm getting into it.
You're not into it?
No, I'm getting into it.
Oh, you're getting into it?
I'm getting into it. I wasn't at first.
At first, he was like, bro, we're not playing this music. That's old head stuff. Bro, this beat is hard.
Okay,
let's get into playoffs. Let's go.
You know what else is hard? LeBron James. Pause. That's how they went wild. Pause. LeBron is carrying this team in ways I've never seen before.
Yep.
Because LeBron's older, and it's good to see how he's doing it at such a intelligent level. And what I mean by that is he's always been a playmaker. Mm-hmm. Well, not always. He kind of started off as like it's my turn. If I want to get in the paint, I'm going to get in the paint. Now he's like, I don't need to. I got AD. I got Austin Reeves. I can pass the ball. It's so beautiful to watch LeBron play today.
He's I don't know.
His IQ is ridiculous.
I just don't understand. There should be there should be zero debate on who. I mean, just seriously, like the only reason why people are saying that Michael Jordan is because he's got 6 rings. That's the only argument that they can win with Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Because you can't say dominance because Shaq is dominance.
Yeah.
And you can't say rings because Wilt has more rings.
Mm-hmm.
Like you
or Bill.
Bill. Yeah, my bad, not Wilt. Bill. So Bill has 11. So you can't really even go off of that. They just say like he won 6 consecutive. I think someone put it on TikTok the other day that some dude from some guy out of Boston won 8 straight.
Mm-hmm. Bill.
That he won 8 straight.
I believe it was him.
Back.
I believe it was him.
Okay, so that's an 8-peat. Where's the debate?
Because it's not consistent.
It's not.
Well, they're saying the argument comes in from oh well, Michael Jordan used to instill fear in hoopers. Like people would be scared to play Mike.
People aren't scared to play LeBron?
I'm sure they are.
I guarantee you they are.
Like the only thing I have for Michael over LeBron is that there are some players to this day right now who don't have rings because of Mike. We're talking about Charles Barkley, Kevin Garnett. Does he have a ring? I don't think he does.
Yeah, he does.
He does? Oh, he probably does.
Celtics one. Yep.
Paul Pierce has one too. They did. It was that whole team. So they got one. But they don't have more because of Mike. There's a bunch of like older people who don't have one because of Mike. Like, man, it's just crazy to think about. Kobe doesn't have more because of Mike. That one playoff game. Derek Fisher. Mm-hmm. See what I'm saying?
But you could say the same thing about LeBron, because if Kevin Durant doesn't go to Golden State,
he's not winning that.
He got 2 more rings.
Yeah, sure.
He doesn't lose to Golden State if Kevin Durant's not there.
That's true.
If they make it to the finals, because it could have been anybody else in the West. Mm-hmm. But if Kevin Durant doesn't go to Golden State, that's 2 more rings.
True.
That LeBron has.
And they're saying because he went to the Miami Heat. Was Chris Bosh that dude before LeBron went there?
Not as much.
I mean,
right? You always need a big guy.
Yeah.
And that was so LeBron's the secret sauce for him. He's got that small forward and he's got a big man. Mm-hmm. Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh. When he was in Cleveland, it was Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving. Mm-hmm. And then now he's got.
And before that, it was just him.
Yeah,
and he didn't need nobody.
Yeah, and he still made it, and that's my point. He still made it to the finals
by himself. I want you to name the first Cleveland Cavaliers team that he won with.
I know.
It was just him and was it Sean Marion on that team? Was it Mario Chalmers? I don't remember. It was a bunch of bozos.
It was crazy.
And he still won by himself.
No. But I will say that he did. There was one finals where he just fell apart. I think it was against Dallas. He just completely just fell apart.
Against Dirk.
Yeah. Dirk got the better half of him. And then San Antonio got him too.
We don't talk about Dirk enough.
I don't think we talk about Tim Duncan or the San Antonio Spurs. So
that team was nutty, boy.
It was.
Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Ginobili. Who else was on that team?
That's who I know. That's all I know. That's all you need to know.
Nah, they had some other saucy players. But they were past first team.
Yes. It was crazy, bro.
Would you say Steph Curry is just Tony Parker just with the 3?
No. Tony Parker had more finesse, I feel like.
Touche.
I really feel like he did. Stephen Curry can shoot from anywhere.
Oh, my God.
And it's not. We saw that last night. If it was not for Steph Curry, I think the Lakers could have came back and tied that game up.
100%. Bro, he shot from half court.
It was stupid.
He's
right before fourth quarter, he shot from half court. And I was like,
we're doing Damian Lillard range right there.
Yeah, and he's in the other. So I was me and you were discussing this today.
Which one?
So if Golden State if they are start getting bad on making threes,
they lose.
Okay. So I don't see them winning the series, but you just never know because they can just get on fire again.
You know, I just realized. So we're in game 5, right? So
6.
Lake 6. So Lakers up 3-2. Games tomorrow night. Today's Friday. Clay might shoot lights out. The thing about Clay and Jordan Poole is that they've been underperforming. And the fact that we're not winning convincingly as the Lakers, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's a problem.
Well, the thing is, they're not shooting around the perimeter. They are shooting, they're just not making it. What the Lakers are dominant in right now is in the paint,
they got AD.
They're dominant.
Yeah.
And Golden State can't touch that. But if they're not defending the perimeter, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
If you're trying to play big on big, Lakers are winning.
No, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Every position.
Where they're killing it is they're making freaking 23 3-pointers.
That's true. Oh, and Draymond showed up yesterday. Draymond was scoring some crazy stuff, yo.
He was.
That was the most offensive I've seen Draymond.
Yeah.
Man was doing some offensive numbers. I was like, damn.
Yeah, he was
balling.
He was not trying to get dealt with in one series.
He was not.
Yeah, they were not about to have that.
Kudos to you, Damien.
Kudos.
Draymond.
Draymond.
Damien.
He's thinking about you, baby.
Damon.
He's thinking about you.
Pause. Oh, man. But yeah, the NBA is dope. I love watching basketball. I'm so overwhelmed though with work.
Why are you?
With work.
Work?
I'm so overwhelmed with work and business and stuff right now.
You'll be fine.
I know, but I feel bad.
You know what? You know what I get whenever I feel overwhelmed with work?
What do you
the sense of I have it, and there's how many marketers are in Permian Basin? Legit. 10?
7, 8.
7? Let's just say 10.
10.
So you're overwhelmed with work while these guys are out there like wishing they had what you had.
Right.
So every time I get to that point where I'm like, I am overwhelmed. This is way too much. I know that there's people out there that are hungry or as hungry, and they're trying to get what I got. And if you get content, you will lose it.
You will lose it.
Yeah.
Good point. I'm glad you said that.
Yeah. Wake up.
I always forget that, man.
Yeah, let's go. There's some hungry dudes out there.
That reminds me of that movie, The Pursuit of Happiness by Will Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. A movie. Oh man, made me cry. You watched The Pursuit of Happiness? Man?
No, I've watched it.
You watched it multiple times, man.
I cried.
Bro, whenever that scene where he's walking down the street with the big old computer he's trying to sell there. Oh man, he's like, you can't even afford something. They slept in the bathroom. Like,
had to pretend they were in a cave or something.
In a cave or so. That's crazy, bro. Sad.
Will Smith's a good actor.
Will Smith's good, bro. Do you think he ruined his career by doing what he did?
Slapping?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think so?
No.
Here's what I think.
It doesn't matter what you think. I'm just kidding.
Here's what I think. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit racial here. When you are black, you do have to work twice as hard. You do, and you still will get half recognized. However, and I do understand the whole Chris Rock thing. I'm a fan of both. I grew up watching both. I grew up watching both. I love both. However, I do feel like you have to control your emotions.
Yeah.
And because of that, the night at which you're supposed to win this big award, it's now stained or ruined because of, let's not act like it's a small award either. This man's been doing it for years. He's finally got it. That's a big award.
Yeah.
However, that action did ruin it a little bit.
I think it ruined it. So I think it's Hollywood is a whole different ballgame than what we're used to.
True. In West Texas.
Like we're not even just going. Have you been to California?
No.
Okay. So I've been to LA a couple times, and everything like you just need to go. Mm-hmm. That's all I can say. Mm-hmm. You just need to go. There's so much more that we don't know and we don't see, and that the media doesn't show that goes on. Mm-hmm. And whether it's stunts or whether it's this kind of thing, or I'm not saying that was a stunt for him to slap him and stuff like that, but there's so many things that go on there that we have
no idea behind the scenes. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So there's so many things that happen that come out like 5 or 6 or 10 years later, and I'm not saying that this is going on, but it could, if like him and Chris Rock and Will Smith made a deal where they're like, hey, smack me on the biggest stage. Mm-hmm. And then he's like, in 10 years, he's like, oh yeah, we planned that. There's stuff that's happened that way in Hollywood.
I doubt that's the case with this.
I doubt it's the case, but I'm just saying stuff like that happens all the time. It's so hard to know what to believe and what not to believe. Yeah. The media's pushed it, and even like this podcast, anyone can go and split this podcast up, mm-hmm. and they can make it their own version of it.
Yeah,
exactly what they did with Andrew Tate. You know, the stuff that we don't,
hear all the time. They just took the bad parts
and. Yeah, but I do believe that Will Smith is a really good man.
Oh, one of the greatest.
Yeah. I think he's a great father. I think he's a great husband. He's a great human being. Yes.
It didn't stay his career for me at all. I feel like we're both very rational, so we still understand who he is.
Yeah.
However, at the heat of the moment, I think it was who was it? Denzel Washington who said it? I don't know who it was, but he said, it is at your peak moment in life that the devil comes after you the most.
Yeah, comes after you the hardest.
The hardest.
Yeah. And that's basically what it is, and that's just emotions. And it's another thing too. Like we don't know what was going on with him and his wife during that or before the show or during the show. Mm-hmm. And having a wife, I can tell you right now, like it can be a stressful thing. So like if your wife's like sitting there, like, let's say we're at this event and she's not comfortable or whatever, and that hair thing, that it's because of a disease or something, right?
Yeah.
That she has. Yeah. So like she's probably insecure about that, and Will Smith probably hears about this every day, right? And she probably cries about it. Like he hears her crying about it. He hears her like
sees her lowest,
yes. Yeah. And then for somebody to go up there and do that, like I'm not saying he's wrong for it or right for it, but you are right. He doesn't need to get the emotions get the best of him. I would have waited till after the show and then slapped.
And then walked his. Yeah,
but he did it in live TV, so it is what it is. Yeah, that's tough, man. And like seeing your spouse or seeing the one you love hurt, it's just it's different, bro. Right. It makes you really emotional whenever somebody brings something like that up. Like for my wife, addiction is not anything we ever play with. Like when somebody's pretends that they're addicted or they're like, makes jokes about it. Yeah. She's very like passionate about addicts because her mother was one, right, or is one. And so anytime anyone tries to joke about that, it gets real sentimental real fast. And it turns into a real conversation compared to like, how we're joking. It's like, hey, come here today.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk about this.
All right.
Yeah. So. Sorry, I just went on a rampage.
No,
I just had to get that out there.
You gotta go into these. And I
gotta go into detail, bro.
Yeah, I just remembered we're on planet Earth and I have bills to pay all the time. It's one of those, when you escape reality for a second. Yeah. I just got brought back.
Just got brought back to reality.
Brought back. God, how are we looking on time, baby? Minutes? Damn. Time is flying. It is. Yeah.
Go ahead and do your sponsor.
Oh, yeah. No, I'll use the one from the previous episode.
Oh, you just got this. There we go. Reese over here about to fall asleep. Oh, by the way, hold up.
I'm wide awake. Oh, what we holding up for? Ooh, check this out. Let me see that. Oh, look at that, baby. Guys, beat the game. Beat the game. The game changer stuff is finally in. Hey, Leo, make this a real please. The game changer stuff is finally in. We finally got our tees up in here. You know what I'm saying? Look at that.
It's called merch, baby.
It's merch, baby. So merch will be available very soon on our website. By the time you watch this, it probably is. And so, yeah, make sure you come get yours because you too can become a game changer in your life. So,
absolutely.
And become part of our network. That's why we call it network and not show.
Yep. And this right here, anyone that's a Patreon subscriber, this is yours.
This is yours to go.
For free.
Because you
are a Patreon.
For the low. Patreon.com/the GameChangerZ Network. I've been Fabrice Fwanji.
Daniel Montoya.
And we appreciate y'all for watching.
Yes, sir.
Take it easy.